Just drink. I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Film on Tap, where we've got the tap that never runs out. As always, I am joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Nancy and Andres. Well, we have a special guest today. We've got Jeffrey Kahn back on the show. How are you today, sir?
I'm very good.
Sound like
I don't know if you're going to put.
I'm very.
I don't know if you're going to
good.
include that recording that you did at the beginning, but that was hilarious.
for all you that don't know, during our syncing of the sound in the very beginning, all of a sudden Tom just like went full on. Bowser Jr. was like, rah, rah, rah. I was like, what the
I
hell?
can't even describe the sound, and I don't even think I could replicate it.
You know what? I'll add it in.
Yeah, honestly, I think you might. You might need to.
But at the end,
I think I tapped into a hidden skill that I didn't know I needed or wanted, but here we are. But I'm happy you're doing well, Con. How about you, Nancy? How are you today?
I'm tired. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been able to sleep lately. It's
Is
the
Mercury
wind.
in retrograde? What's going on?
It's the wind. That's what it is. No, it really is windy here. It's super annoying at night. But other than that, I'm good. It's Easter Sunday. I'm going to do some things today. May go see the family tomorrow.
Ooh.
We'll see. But yeah.
Very, very nice. How about you, Andres? What are you up to on this fine weekend?
Oh, I'm hankering down in the bomb shelter that's right behind me. No, I'm kidding. I'm over at Cape Cod right now, celebrating Easter and my nephew's birthday as well too. So it's gonna be a fun time. And also, me and Jen, we just celebrated Brody's third gotcha day. So
that's a funny way to put it.
so for the occasion, I actually got him a big Baby Yoda sweater, and actually it came with lightsabers on it, and it was freaking adorable. And that's like his favorite toy now, is that lightsaber.
Well, at least he's a Star Wars fan. You've won.
Oh yeah. we gotta make him early.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Easter weekend, literally right before this, I was dyeing eggs with the family, and I've come to terms with the fact that I have zero artistic talent when it comes to decorating. I'm more of a happy.
You're just like dipping it.
Yeah, and then we have this like invisible ink crayon that like as soon as you dip it in the dye, like your message comes up. So like,
oh
fuck you.
So it basically becomes like an egg war where we just like say nasty things about each other and just dip it in the water, but it's so funny. But yeah, apparently my mom's super good at it. She was like making eggs that are worthy of Game of Thrones that look like dragon eggs. Like I swear to God, like it's kind of nuts. But
wait, I think I asked you guys this question before. Does anyone do the confetti eggs?
No.
Okay. I didn't realize this is like a traditional Catholic / other people thing. I just thought everyone does it, but I love it. Like you make. Now they sell them, which is the easy way out. But before, you'd have to like start prepping the eggs, and you put confetti in, and then you have to glue paper mache over. And everyone finds them, and they start cracking the eggs on each other's heads with the confetti in it. It's really fun.
So we do something different in our house. So we have a yearly tradition called the Egg Wars. So so what we do is like we usually have like a carton or two of eggs that we've dyed and hard boiled and whatnot. And then we each, grab an egg and we verse someone, and you have to like tap the top and bottom of their egg, and whoever's egg doesn't crack compared to the other person, they move on to the next round. So whoever has the last egg standing wins. It's very competitive.
I thought you were just going to throw eggs at each other. But
that's what I was like. I just imagine throwing hard-boiled eggs at each other.
I see your opinion of me is in the
brutal out there.
Jeez, I know I'm from Long Island, but we have manners.
What do you win if you're last person standing? Okay.
You win pride.
Sure.
Isn't that the most important?
And bragging rights, because that shit carries throughout the rest of the year. It's like, what? You were embarrassing. It's like, well, at least I won the Egg Wars.
See,
anyway,
all we do around here is we literally just stuff the plastic eggs with just chocolates and candies. And unfortunately now, because of the fact that we start hiding them in the yard, Brody actually sniffs them out really fast, and it's one of those things where we're like, immediately we take him outside and he immediately goes like it doesn't matter where we've hidden it. He's like a bloodhound. He can find these things really fast. And so like my niece is just like, it's no fair. Brody gets to find it before we do. And it's like,
As long as he doesn't eat the chocolate that's inside.
I know. I was like,
yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, no, like all he does is he goes out to find it, and then luckily we pull him back a little bit, and he's actually really good about not putting things in his mouth anymore, which is great.
It should be like the winner from last
year. and right now, as we're speaking, I'm hearing him bark upstairs.
He's like, "You fucking talking shit about me? You talking say it to my face?
Trying to take things out of my mouth."
I was gonna say the winner from the previous year should get Brody as like an assistant, and he just like points out all the eggs for like one child.
Egg radar.
Yeah.
No, literally, like the first Christmas we had my dog Marty, my mom tried to make a homemade blueberry pie from scratch, and this thing was like gigantic. And literally the night, like on Christmas Eve, we woke up on Christmas Day, and the entire pie had just been like eaten and caved out, and my dog just had like blueberry all over his face. And we're like, oh no! And my mom was like, oh no! And then we ended up trying like a part of the pie that like wasn't taken by him or whatever, and it was disgusting. So I think he did this.
Gross.
Oh no!
Don't
Tried
do
to
it.
salvage it. And pay the
Anyway, enough about the past. So we've got a pretty jam-packed show today in terms of trailers. Got a lot to talk about, and of course, we're going to be talking. Jesus Christ! Talking.
Escape to New York.
That Long Island really came out there. We're going to be talking about Super Mario in depth with some spoiler talk. So definitely looking forward to that. But we got some trailers to talk about first. So first, let's talk about the big trailer that came out in the past couple weeks, and that is the new trailer for Supergirl, the new comic book film that is hitting theaters this summer with Millie Alcock as Supergirl, aka Kara. That's her name, right? Kara?
Yeah, Kara.
Yeah.
Nice. Nailed it. Love it.
Yeah.
So we got our first big peek at the movie. We got a smaller trailer a little while back, but this is our first big peek at the film. So what do we think about this new trailer? Are we excited? Do we like it more than the first trailer? Let's start with you.
Yeah, you cut out.
Con, we know.
Yeah.
Okay, you said con, and then you moved away from the mic.
Do I do it mysteriously? Like, it's up to you.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I was on the last time you guys discussed Supergirl, and I complained that it was too brown. So luckily, there's more color this time around. I feel like in this.
Okay, thank you
trailer.
for specifying the color of the movie, not the
movie,
people.
not the.
He's like, hey.
But yeah, there's definitely more color around, and now them leaning into the whole she has to save crypto from dying. It's kind of manipulative, but it's obviously going to work because people are probably going to watch this trailer and be like, "Oh, I have to see if the crypto survives," because people are very attached to their dogs, as Andres can attest. So yeah, I think it looks good. I don't know about the whole Jason Momoa as Lobo thing. I feel like it's going to confuse a lot of people just because he was Aquaman so recently. But yeah, it looks good, and I'll definitely watch it.
All right. How about you, Andres?
Yeah, that was a bit of the story in the comic book of crypto's entire thing. I was not sure if they were going to go down that rabbit hole, and I'm super glad that they are. But the thing is, it's definitely going to be a little different. They definitely adjusted it a little bit, at least for a movie, and it makes more sense in terms of adding more stakes to the fact that crypto has actually been poisoned by a poison arrow. So I think that's a great way of doing the adaptation from Woman of Tomorrow, which if you have not read the comic, go read it. It's one of the best. But yeah, everything I see so far, like, I love the brightness of it. I love the color palette that they've gone in with, and they've shown a little more now. I love just everything we've seen about the story, and in terms of the introduction of Lobo in this trailer as well, I think is also really, really strong. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this movie after this trailer. And, I think we're in for a good surprise come the summer. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And of course, I love the fact that in the very beginning, we got Superman in the trailer, just kind of going, "Hey, just checking in on you." So yeah, I really, really dig everything that's going on about the trailer so far.
Very nice. Nancy, what do we feel? Come on.
Here we go.
Sorry, I'm working on a laptop, guys.
Our switchboard operator is not doing so hot.
I am annoyed. I did not realize that this movie was about saving her fucking dog. And I am already traumatized and have PTSD from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when they're trying to save Rocket. I'm just like, I can only handle so much.
Stop hurting animals.
Exactly. This movie's going to stress me out. That being said, it looks amazing. So it looks very good. I just know it's gonna get me. I love who they chose for Supergirl, honestly. Like, she's already, from what I've seen, I think she's gonna do an amazing job. And obviously this is gonna pull at her heartstrings. But yes, if Crypto doesn't live, which I know he will, but if I will write. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm gonna be stressed.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. As someone who didn't read the comics, I was a little bit confused watching both of these trailers, and I'll explain why in a second. But just generally, I feel like this is a much better trailer than the first one. I feel like it does a much better job not only giving you more of the story and what this movie is really about, because I feel like the first trailer completely concealed the fact that she was going to try to save her dog, which I think is a great emotional conceit because it gets the audience on board. We care about Crypto because we loved him in Superman, and now we want to see more of him, and we don't want him to die, obviously. So, don't fuck with the pet owner, essentially, is what like these movies are saying, and I love it. The action looks fantastic. It looks colorful and vibrant. Essentially, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy meets John Wick at this point, and I'm like all in. And I can't wait to see what they do with it. I think Millie Alcock looks great as Supergirl. I think she was a perfect choice. I think Jason Momoa is clearly having a great time being Jason Momoa as Lobo. I mean, I didn't read the comics, so maybe that's who Lobo is. He's just kind of like a Jason Momoa kind of guy. But regardless, by any stretch, like, he looks fantastic. I think he's having the time of his life. I know he's wanted to play this character for so long, so you can tell he's relishing every moment. So I love seeing that. And it just looks like a really like emotionally compelling, fun time at the movies. Like, I know there's inevitably going to be like the worst discourse about this movie online. Ugh, I'm dreading it already, but it's just, let's just watch a fun superhero movie, folks. Like, come on, let's grow up a little bit. But generally really enjoyed this trailer. But I will say I was a little bit thrown because in the first trailer, at least from what I remember, it made it seem like Lobo was hunting down Supergirl. And then in this one, they show them just like working together and in fact, like her saving him. So I was very confused as to what their relationship is. But maybe Andres can clear that up for me since you have read the comics. Andres?
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Bless you,
Lobo,
Nancy.
Bless you. Here's the thing. Lobo is not in the comic at all.
Really? Interesting.
But the story was developed as a Lobo story before DC came in and basically told Tom King, make it a Supergirl story. And from that change in itself, it made it that much more of a better story. So the fact that Lobo is in the movie now is very much just like a fun little nod and a wink to what that story could have been originally. So honestly, it's one of those things. It's uncharted territory, but yeah, it's like even Lobo from the comics. It's basically freaking Jason Momoa.
I had a feeling. Because everyone's like, he's pitch perfect casting. I'm like, he just looks like Jason Momoa. Okay.
He's about as perfect of a cast as I would say Ryan Reynolds was for Deadpool. Like, he just fits that character entirely.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is like Jason Momoa keeps being Jason Momoa and it still works. Like him,
because he's great.
Dante in Fast and Furious was.
That's honestly one of my.
That was Jason Momoa, but like at a 15.
Dude, he was the absolute highlight of that movie.
Yeah, loved it, and it works.
Yeah, he is the only reason we own that movie right now.
Honestly, that movie, I have that in my collection just because of the line Dante, Ashante. or just his when Brie Larson scratches up his car. He's like, "Don't get off my car," and then she just scratches it with her steel toe boots or whatever it was, and then he just has the oh. God, he was the best part of the movie, and I know the fact that freaking Vin Diesel is upset about the fact that he got more popular from that movie.
Someone's overshadowing me.
Well, I'm glad he's going to be back for the next one, whenever that comes out in 2054. Anyway.
We digress.
But anyway, Supergirl looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to see how this universe is starting to slowly build out. I think it's headed in a good direction so far, and it has me cautiously optimistic. So I'm definitely excited for that movie. But if we shift gears now to something a little bit darker, we're going to be heading into some A24 territory. We got a new horror film coming out from A24 called Backrooms, which stars Chiwetel Ejiofor. And it's hard to describe what this film is. It's like it takes place in the store where there's like this hidden back room that just goes on, and it's mysterious and it's alluring, and he's exploring it, and he's not sure what it's doing or what effect it has on the mind. Like, it's very hard to explain. It's more so like watch the trailer and see what you think. I know this is directed by the youngest director ever for A24. He's only 20 years old, and I think it was based on like a YouTube short film that he had made, or series that he had made. So it's really interesting. I love that A24 takes these swings. Like, I feel like they're making some of the most exciting films right now and tackling some really fresh concepts. So I'm definitely curious to see what you guys thought about this trailer, because there was a little teaser a little while back that I think did a good job building the mystique and the intrigue, but this one showed a lot more of like what this movie's going to be about. So let's start with you, Nancy. What did you think of the trailer for Backrooms?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like, it's like Click when he goes to the Beyond section of Bed Bath & Beyond. It's like the horror version.
That's a reaction.
It's the horror version of that.
I would have loved to see that pitched to A24. You ever see Click?
You're gonna love this. It actually looks really good. And hearing that, you know, this is a new young director that is getting a chance based off of, you know, some shorts that he's done before. That's really cool. I love that A24 does that. This is going to give me anxiety like crazy. And I think that's what a good horror film should do. Anything that's endless freaks me the fuck out. Like space, just no. It scares me. So I think this is really going to hit on a personal level for me. It looks weird. It looks like crazy. It looks like acting is really good. It's interesting. I'm curious if they're gonna do another trailer to put anything more in there. There's also a shot at the very end of the trailer that looks creepy as all hell. And if I think they keep doing stuff like that, that's gonna get a lot of people to see this movie. So I'm intrigued. I definitely want to see this one.
All right, she's intrigued. How about you, Andres?
I wish I was more intrigued for this movie, and good for A24 good on A24 for giving a new voice a chance. But honestly, to me, everything about this movie everything about this movie just feels cheap. It feels just, how can we make a movie on the lowest budget possible? And, let's get a director who's going to be very cheap because of the fact that he's not done anything. He's not even an adult, so he doesn't know anything about contracts or any of that stuff. And here's the thing. The movie felt very much, having gone to film school, it felt very much to me like production 2 filmmaking, where it's like you only have one room and you have to make it scary and you have to turn it into a maze. I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen this concept before. And honestly, to me, I'm sorry, guys. The movie, to me, it just looks like shit.
Andres,
Jesus Christ.
That was Andres as well. Well, being a scientist myself, like that was your moment.
Willem Dafoe.
Honestly, it felt like I presented like my college film thesis, and that was my professor ripping it apart.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But you also, is it purely the trailer, or is it the fact that A24 has burned you so many times?
Both.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like it was everything culminating in that review.
I feel A24 is very hit or miss lately, I will say,
But I will say that the hits are fucking hits. Like, Iron Claw is still one of the movies that have destroyed me in the past couple of years. And that like doesn't even rely on any cheap tricks or anything in terms
Didn't
of the
they do
budget.
Eternity too?
Yeah. Yes. And also I loved Eternity as well. So like, yeah.
Did you see Undertone?
No, I'm not going to go.
That
sounds so scary, guys.
Oh man,
I'm listening to something like.
Jesus Christ, dude!
This is the Andres therapy hour.
Oh my God! Are you sure you enjoyed Jaws?
we named our dog after Jaws.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God.
But it's one of those things where like I feel like Blumhouse in particular, and also A24. Is this no?
I don't
think this is Blumhouse.
I think it's just A24.
It's just A24. Yeah. But Blumhouse sort of falls into that same place as well too, where it kind of feels like, you know what? Sometimes they go for the big swings, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just not excited for this movie.
All right, let's see if Khan bridges the gap. I don't know.
Well, I'm probably right in the middle. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this movie in theaters just because I'm scared. I'm scared of, like, I can't handle a lot of horror movies.
So you like to be able to handle the volume control?
Be able to cover your eyes when you can.
Exactly. But I kind of got vibes from the trailer of like the second half of Barbarian when they discover a hidden room in the basement.
Tape measure and all.
Yeah. Only Justin Long would show up. But yeah, like it looks creepy, obviously, and obviously it's probably not gonna be made for a lot of money, so it's easy to turn a profit. But yeah, they got a good cast as well. Chiwetel Ejiofor and what recent Oscar nominee Renata Reinsva. But yeah, I don't know if it's not quite up my alley, but I can see why people would want to watch something that's creepy and unsettling.
All right, yeah, I would definitely say I'm intrigued. I wouldn't say like I'm all the way sold, but I am a sucker for like a simple horror concept if it's done well. Like this is definitely the kind of concept if you put in the wrong hands is going to be boring or just really lifeless. But if you put in someone who's really creative and knows what they're doing, it could actually be something really fun and really engaging and a really fun like horror theater experience. So I like the concept of this. I'm like, I really do love when there's like some sort of secret compartment or hallway. I don't know. That excites me. I like that. I'm just like, ooh.
So we know what to build in Tom's house.
And it keeps going on and on. Like, oh boy. I have the opposite thing that Nancy has that excites me. For her, it makes her scared. But no, I think it looks really solid. I think Chiwetel looks fantastic in it. It's cool to see him in a horror film. So I'm in. I'm definitely interested in seeing it. I feel like I'm going to go in with very like neutral expectations, not really knowing what to expect and just hoping that it like surprises me. But regardless, at the end of the day, I really do like the fact that A24 really takes these gambles and these risks that other studios just aren't taking right now, and that they're giving such a young filmmaker such a huge opportunity for him to like shine and flourish potentially. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's good. But we're shifting gears again, guys, because we went from comic book to horror. Now we're going to animated. We're all over the map today. We are scattershot, but we are talking about the new DreamWorks animated film that is hitting theaters, I believe, this fall called Forgotten Island. So if you love Eternal Sunshine and how depressed that made you, let me present to you Forgotten Island. It's about two young girls who get sucked into this mysterious world where they discover that the only way to get out is to slowly erase all of their memories of one another. So yes, typical feel-good DreamWorks stuff. So we got our first full trailer here. Let's talk about this one. We'll start with you, Nancy. What did we think about this trailer for Forgotten Island?
This looks really good. I'm excited to see this. The animation alone looks fantastic. And the fact that they have this friendship of these opposites, and you see them grow up together, and now they're forced with like potentially losing the memory of each other. Obviously, this movie's going to wreck me, and it's going to be sad. But it looks so good. And I love the animation style that they're going with. And yeah, I feel like I'm already sold on this. So done. You have me.
Done, sold, say less. Got it. Khan, how about you?
Yeah, it's from the same director as Puss in Boots: The Last Witch.
Yeah, that's what makes me very excited.
Tom and Andres are very fond of it. Nancy still hasn't seen.
Nancy!
Sorry!
God, Nancy!
Maybe this will finally convince her.
What are you doing? Let's stop the podcast. Put it on.
Watch Remember we were supposed to watch it in Arizona, and I got too drunk and sleepy.
Nancy, your life is not rich enough until you've seen that movie.
All right, we got to do it as a watch along, though. I don't want to watch it by myself.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is that just on Con randomly?
But yeah, the animation looks. It kind of reminds me of the Disney film that bombed at the box office, Strange World, in terms of the. Hopefully, this will be better than Strange World. But yeah, it's going to wreck most people, probably me as well. And then yeah, DreamWorks with their animation style has been killing it recently. So I'm obviously going to watch this as the animated fan.
Yes, the animated fan. How about you, Andres?
Yeah, like I actually got to see this trailer in front of Mario yesterday on the big screen, and yeah, and like honestly, I don't know much about the concept, but damn, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I'm there day one, and I'm there with bells and whistles, and especially with the fact that it's directed by the same duo that directed Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which again is a big surprise. I mean, how do you turn a character like Puss in Boots and make that film in particular a big meditation about mortality and all these other really heady themes that shouldn't play to a kid, but perfectly plays with the fact that he's lost all his 9 lives. So it's one of those things where, like, under the right direction, I know this movie's going to kill me. And I think we're going to be in for a really big surprise and possibly something to talk about even next year during the Oscars. So who knows? I'm really excited for this freaking movie. So yeah, hells yeah, wow. I'm in.
An Oscar prediction. Okay.
Wow, it's good to see the light return to your eyes.
I know.
Just two girls potentially forgetting their memories of each other.
I am not intrigued by this.
That is more interesting than running around in an empty warehouse. Yeah. Here's the thing with that movie: you have a big hill to climb, but I'm willing to tell you if it's good or not. And if it's good, I'm willing to eat shit and basically just say, "Yep, it's great. Go see it." So yeah, but until then. Tom, what are your thoughts?
Damn, I really shouldn't have picked that scab. Yikes! No, but I'm so excited for this movie. What DreamWorks has been doing with their animation in the past several years has been incredible. I mean, they went from being a studio that honestly came out with good, maybe not great films. They've had their fair share of really good ones, like the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is just phenomenal. Not talking about the live action, people.
Nope.
Not talking about the live action.
Wait, what movie?
What even is that? Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, what is that exactly? But like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish kind of just like changed the game, I think, for them, where it's like, okay, we're gonna shift gears and do something entirely different, not just in terms of our animation, but our level of storytelling. Mm-hmm. And so ever since, I mean, with that, The Wild Robot, which was incredible, which they just announced a sequel to. I mean, that movie was unbelievably good. But this again looks fantastic. The concept in and of itself is phenomenal. I mean, Eternal Sunshine for kids, like, that's essentially what it is. But like, as dark as that sounds, it also looks colorful and vibrant and palatable for kids, and it looks really engaging and endearing. Like, just setting up that central friendship in the trailer, they do a great job showing that. Like, literally just from that alone, I was like, oh yeah, this movie's going to destroy me. I'm going to have to put myself back together after this one. It's fine. I've accepted it. I will cry. But I think that the way they're going to handle the story is going to be so great, because it's just the way they're tackling those heavier themes in this trailer about, letting go of this friendship memory by memory. I mean, it's just heartbreaking even just saying that sentence, but being able to tell it in such a visually dazzling way, I think is going to be great. But I think the character work is really what's going to shine here. And I'm hoping that, especially considering this is the duo that brought us Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, as long as the script can match their vision, I think we're in for one of the best animated films of the year for sure. And I'm really, really excited for this one. I just hope that the hype builds and that people actually see it, because I want people to support animated movies original like this, ones that aren't just sequels or prequels or, based on some IP or whatever. Like, let's support movies like this, especially animated ones. I love seeing animated movies in theaters. So, I am super excited for this movie. And go DreamWorks, man. They've had quite a comeback, and I love it. Well, I mean, we'll see if they fix Shrek 5. Yikes.
Speaking of not doing sequels,
I'm hoping they pull a Sonic on that one. They do some some second drafts of those character designs.
Yeah. But one thing you said, Tom, that made me think of, why these movies are doing so well is I think they're not treating kids with kid gloves. I feel like with Disney movies and all of that, it's like no one dies and everyone comes back, or like someone dies off screen, with the exception of Up. Obviously, that was traumatizing. When I feel like the movies that we grew up with, it was like those were very heart-wrenching movies that pulled no punches, and I feel like that they're putting in very serious themes into kids' movies, and it's going over well. Kids can handle these kind of concepts, and maybe in some ways it's a good way to bring up these concepts to those kids. And I feel like that's why they're doing so well and why we're enjoying it, much more than previous DreamWorks animation or even recent Pixar animation.
I read that
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
I read that it was.
Oh wow, you guys had that moment this episode. Oh, that's cute. What's that like from the outside, Nancy?
It's nice.
I read that there's 2 directors on this, and it's based on like their friendship growing up.
Aww,
tell me that.
Definitely bring like a personal angle to it. So yeah, if it's not already going to wreck you, it's knowing that it's based on their lives. Is even worse.
Yeah, and going on to more on Nancy's point as well too about just how DreamWorks has sort of just changed themselves going forward. I mean, I think the problem was they started going down the road of pop culture reference on top of pop culture reference and really dating themselves. Like when you watch stuff like Monsters vs. Aliens or any of their old DreamWorks stuff, it feels very much like a 2009 or 2011 sensibility, and it feels very stuck in that time. Whereas something like The Wild Robot, I can easily imagine showing that to any one of my nephews or nieces or any one of my kids eventually, where it's like, you know what? This is just a good movie on its own. Even Shrek kind of, tethers that line a little bit, but I think with the last 2, they really got into the pop culture stuff. And I love the fact that DreamWorks has slowly gone away from that. But it's funny that Pixar is now doing that.
Yeah. Although I was going to say, they do make a Who Let the Dogs Out reference. And then the first thought was like, how many kids are actually going to understand that reference?
Dude,
but it was funny.
That spoke to my soul. That spoke to my soul.
The joke was funny. It's like, I've never thought of that being a way to breathe, like a breathing technique.
That was cute.
God. Gave me like a flashback to owning. I actually had the CD that song was on. That's what a deep cut that was. I remember it was literally the 3 of them like smiling on the cat. Literally, it was a broken CD case. I was like, oh my God, Jesus, the nostalgia is real.
Yeah, it started with Who Let the Dogs Out and ended with that really weird remix of Who Let the Dogs Out.
But yeah, are you crying already, Con?
He's
getting emotional. I think I let the dogs out. But speaking of animation, it is time to jump into our main event, folks. We are here today to talk now about the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I keep getting it confused. It's the new movie from Illumination Studios, obviously the sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out a couple years ago. So we're going to be talking spoilers on this one. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you plan on seeing it, you don't want anything spoiled, we would suggest not watching or listening to the rest of this episode. But if you don't care about being spoiled, or if you've already seen the movie, feel free to continue watching or listening. So let's talk generally about our thoughts about the movie, maybe what we thought about the previous film, and then we'll dive into some spoiler territory. So why don't we start with you, Con, Mr. Animation? How about you?
I generally liked the first one. Obviously, it was the first time we saw like an animated Mario movie. I've never actually gone back and seen the 90s one because I don't want to ruin my childhood. So like, obviously the animation was really cool, and just seeing characters that I've known for a long time on the screen was cool, even if I thought the story was a bit lacking. And then when I heard they were doing Galaxy as the next movie, I was like, whoa, are they really just skipping straight to that? Because there's a lot of games in between, like the first game and then Galaxy. So I was a little concerned. And then seeing all the trailers, how they were shoving every possible character into this movie, I got concerned. And then when I saw the movie a couple of days ago, it's a mixed bag because there's definitely stuff I love about it. They definitely fixed some issues I had with the first one, but there's also some new issues that I had. There's barely a story here. I feel like it's just a lot of colors and moving from one place to the next really quickly. But yeah, overall, I'm like leaning positive, but it's not as enthusiastic as I wanted it to be as a huge Mario fan.
Okay. How about you, Nancy?
I think I'm in the same boat. I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. I would say that, yeah, the story kind of was lacking a little bit. I did love all the characters that they brought into the movie. Yoshi was my favorite. He's so adorable. And the little stars, they're so cute too. And there were some characters I didn't really know. I kind of have seen, but I wasn't familiar with. And I think they incorporated them into the, story well enough where it was fine that I didn't really know them from the games. We had like 2 little cameos that I think were really cool, which we could talk about later. So I like that. The biggest thing for me, though, is that I feel like the first one I laughed a lot, and it just felt like the humor didn't land as well on this one, or it was lacking a lot of humor. I went into a showing that had a ton of kids in it, and barely any laughs, which I would think the humor for it is very much leaning towards like kid humor, and even they weren't laughing. So that was the biggest like miss for me in this movie, but overall I enjoyed it.
Okay. Andres?
Yeah, as somebody who loves Mario and is one of those, I'm not going to go into the deep lore about Mario because it's just too much, but then it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But the thing is I really enjoyed the last one quite a bit. It's not perfect, but in terms of a Mario movie, I think it understood the tone. I think it understood the funness of those characters. And I think there are far more memorable moments in the first one. I can recall so many more things like, the DK fight or them training, or even probably one of the biggest letdowns for me in this film was the fact that they did not let Jack Black make another song, and we didn't get a Peaches this time. And it was just like
gosh.
They teased a Peaches like reprise, but then they put back.
Very little.
Yeah, very little. But you mean to tell me that Jack Black at some point during the recording did not just say some random shit and make it into a song? Like
that's your big gripe.
Where's
Give me more Jack Black.
Yeah, but I will say, going into this movie, I had very low expectations for it. But I, the casting of Donald Glover as Yoshi made me excited, and also the casting of yeah. Anytime Donald Glover's in something, I'm there. All right.
Fair. But I just feel like Yoshi's very he has a standard voice.
Yeah. But I kind of feel like most of the elements in the movie, while there is certainly a mixed bag of good and the visuals are amazing, and I think one of the moments in particular, and maybe we'll talk about it later, but the puppet show I thought was jaw-droppingly good in terms of the animation style of that, and really making me forget that wasn't live action and that was actually animated. I was like, holy crap, okay, this is impressive. But yeah, I think my biggest faults with it is that there's not much of a story, and I need something to tether all these really great moments together. And also I feel like some of the moments in this sequel in particular were far less memorable. So honestly, I left this one really disappointed as a Mario fan, and honestly, just as a fan of anime movies in particular, it really goes to say something when the biggest pop the theater had, and this was a theater full of kids that were not even above the age of 10 or 9. And the biggest pop that theater had was when the Sonic 4 trailer popped up. Everybody was applauding. So I think Super Mario Galaxy feels like it sort of has that feeling of they think they are the Sonic of this universe in terms of the movies, in terms of audience satisfaction. But I think this is leaning more towards, this is just another dud, and I think Illumination learned the wrong lessons from the first movie, and honestly I just was a little disappointed by this one.
I'm trying to I feel like I kind of fall more in cons section where it felt like a mixed bag to me. I went in with very low expectations because I thought the first one was like fun but kind of forgettable. Like, again, I grew up playing a lot of those games, so like just to see those characters and animation was like really cool, and it did have some laughs, and I thought that had some fun sequences that gave me the vibe and tone of the games. But again, the story and the character work in that first film was really lackluster and very thin. And so going into this one, I really didn't know what to expect, but I will say, I do feel like Nancy touched on, the humor in this one is really bad. It falls flat. I mean, if you can't even make kids laugh, you're doing something wrong. Like, especially if you're going to gear the humor towards kids, like we need to be better about this. But I do think that visually, this is a gigantic step up compared to the first film. I think there's way more style, way more panache. The action sequences are actually really impressive in this one. I was really stunned by how much I enjoyed them and how stylized they were. Like, there's some really cool wonders that they do that I wasn't expecting. That puppet show sequence, like Andres was talking about, was incredible. The entire time I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, this is animated. Wow, that looks amazing. And it just pops more visually. I just think that they actually gave it more of a singular voice compared to the first film, which felt a little bit too conventional, I think, for me. So to see them really kind of swing for the fences in terms of the animation, I thought was really great. And it shows that Illumination is clearly capable of more in terms of their animation style. I feel like they've settled into this groove of making their films look and feel a certain way because they think that's what makes them successful. And it's fair to assume that sort of thing. But I feel like swinging for the fences like this is way more welcomed. And I think it's just a much better step in the right direction for them. And I hope that they make more animation like this. But that being said, the story and the characters, they're paper thin in this movie. Like, just like Khan said, it's basically just like moving from one set piece to another set piece with a very loose story in between. We have Rosalina, voiced by Brie Larson, who's, another princess in distress, which, yes, is a staple of the games, a princess being in distress. But also, it's like we could do so much more with this. What a waste of Brie Larson, who basically is just like in a cage, just being sad most of the time. Like, what a bummer. But I just feel like you can make these characters emotionally compelling. Like, I think they attempted to do that with Mario and Luigi in the first film, like showing their family dynamic and kind of what they strive to be. And I felt like they just completely abandoned any sort of development that they had in the first film, or even some of these supporting characters. Let's flesh them out. I mean, you have Donald Glover here, who's basically like the Vin Diesel of this universe, so you would never know that it's actually him voicing the character, because anyone could have done it. Like, genuinely anyone could have done it. But it felt more like, it felt like more just like a colorful cartoon episode, which some people might enjoy. And look, I had fun with this movie, and like, I definitely think in some ways I enjoyed it more than the first film, but I still feel like in terms of the story and characters, we need to do better. And I think they're capable of doing better. So it's just, you have the animation style you need right now. Now let's get the writing to back it up so that they can work in tandem. So let's talk spoilers. Let's do it. Let's do it. So what are the highlights? What are the lowlights? What are some things we really dug?
I mean, weirdly for me, Rosalina was one of the highlights for me. Oh. Obviously, the low light is that she wasn't in the movie a lot.
She was. She was a bright spot.
Yeah. Like in the beginning, especially when she's talking to her little stars and they're calling her mama, it was so cute. And I was like, I wanted to see more of that. And what I love is that now that they're making it that her and Princess Peach are sisters, you see that she has that mother energy of like, she's the older one, she was taking care of her, and now she has all these stars that she's taking care of. And I just wanted to see more of that. And even the voice acting from Brie Larson, I think, was really good. So yeah, that was a highlight for me. I just wanted more of it. It was literally a highlight because it wasn't much in the movie.
I mean, they literally just set up the whole thing with her and Peach being sisters. Like, they could have really explored that. That could have been their Pixar montage sequence. Like that had so much potential, and they just they abandoned it. It was such a bummer.
Yeah, and I think for me, still one of the highlights of the entire thing is, I mean, just the amount of humor that Yoshi added to the movie. And anytime he popped up, I just felt like he just stole the movie in certain points. Like, his scene with the T-Rex, I thought was really great and really fun. And I love the little gimmick of like him constantly eating all the various different people all around. They pop up his eggs. And then all of a sudden, when Bowser ends up in his mouth, he's just like, that was intense.
I love this little montage through the city too. That was cute.
That was hilarious.
And then Customer and Luigi be like, I don't know, we'll never know his backstory.
Yeah, he's like,
we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
but it was a weird like old DreamWorks thing where all of a sudden he's walking around to like Biggie song,
and no one is like wondering why there's a dinosaur walking through New York.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But I love the fact that actually there is a remix of Childish Gambino's Bonfire, but with Super Mario. Yeah, no.
Movie.
No, it's not in the movie.
Okay.
But someone has already taken Childish Gambino's remix of Bonfire, but with Super Mario sound effects. And this was done like 4 or 5 years ago, and someone has already sunk it up to like the cam version. And I'm like, that works far more better than how this kind of does. But yeah, and honestly, like if I was to talk about one of my biggest disappointments in the movie as well, God, I was so excited when they announced Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud in this movie. That was the reason I bought my tickets, guys. I was like, holy shit, Starbucks.
I can't believe they spoiled it, but you're the reason why they spoiled it.
It was a week before the movie.
I didn't know. So that was a surprise to me. I wish I'd
stayed off Twitter.
I will say that got a huge pop in my theater when his character first showed up.
If I didn't know, I would have lost my mind.
In mine, but yeah, no, I was like, "Holy crap!" I was so excited.
Why are we spoiling things? I don't know.
Also, I think that because like in my theater there were a bunch of younger kids, so I'm like, I don't even know if they know who this is. Maybe from
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, yeah. But yeah, I was so excited. It didn't get spoiled for me. That was the cameo that I was so excited.
You're the one.
I was like, I did it, guys. I didn't get spoiled.
Yeah.
But why was he disappointing, Andres?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, for me, they didn't really do much with his character apart from just the very, like, again, paper thin. This is Fox McCloud in a very, very paint by numbers way, but sort of like just like, okay, we got a little glimpse in terms of what his history is with Slippy and with Peppy and all the other. Like, I love the little knock where he's like, yeah, this is what happens when you have a frog as your engineer. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. But I kind of felt like they just showed him for one particular purpose and then they did nothing else with him. And then they completely forgot about him, which kind of also goes to me for what happened with Yoshi. It feels like they introduce all these new characters and then they forget about the toys that they're playing with and how they mesh together. And I just felt like it could have been a little more, they could have made them work together a little more smoothly than it actually did. And honestly, I was kind of a little disappointed by the portrayal, not necessarily the portrayal, but sort of the execution of Fox into this story in particular.
I thought Glenn Powell's voice performance was good, but it's just, you're right that it kind of feels like they're just soft launching a Star Fox movie. They're like, hey, if kids like this enough, we'll make a Star Fox movie. So that's what
I thought they were trying to use him as like a springboard to set up like a post-credit scene with like a Super Smash Brothers movie.
I thought so too.
I think so.
Because like I have expected one of the post-credit scenes to be like them like talking about some like tournament or something, and I was like, because that would honestly, I'm waiting because that's going to be like their big money maker when they make that the Super Smash Brothers. Like that movie's going to make $1 billion. Because
Tom, when you mentioned like the action scenes were all really well done, I'm like, because anytime they do a fight scene, I was locked in. And I was
like the fight scenes are great in this movie.
Or probably my favorite set piece of the entire movie is when Bowser Jr. is literally playing the game against Mario.
That was so good.
That
was so good.
Creating the level, it was like a Mario Maker.
The Mario Maker level. Yeah,
like that was like that was the moment I was like, "Am I watching an Illumination movie? Like this is clever."
This is
awesome. But like it was like I was like, I want more moments like that. Like that's the thing that's frustrating about this movie. There's moments and glimmers where like they're being really creative and they're being smart and it works so well. And then the rest of it, it's like it just feels like they're cruising on easy street, and they're like, "Well, we have these characters people love. We don't really got to do much with them. Like, let's just put them on screen. People love it." But then there's moments where they actually really care, and they do some really cool stuff, like the puppet show, the action sequences. That one action sequence you literally just mentioned, that was a great hybrid of like the old school video game and then like this animation style. Like it was amazing bridging that gap visually. But it's just like more of that, please. I want more of that.
Fox
but speaking
intro, where it's like the anime inspired.
That was great.
That
was
like,
great.
When you use different animation styles, it looks really good. And
it kind of felt like this movie might be like their beta test for trying different styles and seeing like if it works. I hope so, because if they go in those directions, I think it'd be more exciting.
Sure.
Well, we are getting the Zelda movie next year, and that's going to be live action.
Is that Illumination?
No, it's not Illumination, but I think the plan is.
All right, you said live action.
Duh. Yeah. it's gonna be live action, but I think the plan is sort of in a very James Gunn DC universe type of thing. Is like some of these stories can exist in animation, some of these stories can exist in live action, but when they all come together, it's all going to be in animation. So, I mean, if that is still ringing true,
from Roger Rabbit, but for video games,
maybe
that would be
or just in the same way of like, you see Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos, but he pops up in live action in Superman and back and forth. And
live action Link next to animated Mario.
Yeah, amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, but again, that's not necessarily 100% confirmed, but it's one of those things where I can kind of see them sort of setting that up a little bit. But the thing that I find so interesting is that Glenn Powell actually, after the first movie, it's come out that apparently Jack Black has said that Glenn Powell, after the first movie came out, he went to Illumination to pitch them a Star Fox movie. And then they were just like, why don't we just put you in the next one? And I was like,
no, I know Donald Glover did the very similar thing. He like went to them. He's like, I want to play Yoshi. Like, let them know I want to play Yoshi. And now he's Yoshi.
They're like, why? He only says one thing.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be Yoshi because he loves Yoshi. So there you go.
That's really weird. No one would know.
But speaking of some of the characters in this movie, I have to say the highlight for me character-wise is Bowser and Bowser Jr. That's the best part of the movie for me. I think Benny Safdie and Jack Black have awesome chemistry together as father and son, kind of being reunited here. I think Bowser honestly gets the most depth out of any character in the movie. You know, like they kind of give him this like fake redemption arc where you think he's becoming good and then he kind of shifts back into being the baddie we've all come to know. But I thought Jack Black, again, relishing every second as this character. But I feel like Benny Safdie absolutely matched his energy. And I thought their scenes together were super fun. They gave me the most laughs out of anything in the movie. You know, Bowser saying, "Oh, I love being a dad." You know, just I love it.
Or him in the very beginning thinking that he's been a bad dad to Bowser Jr. And then as he progressed throughout the entire movie and you see exactly all the small little things that he's taken from him. Like, it's like, well, you've always told me that friends hold you back and they stab you in the back eventually. It's like, where'd you hear that? You, Dad? Oh, I am a good dad.
Messed up family dynamic. Yeah.
Also, miniature Bowser for the win. Anytime he like raged as mini Bowser, I lost it.
Oh yeah. I will say there was one point where like literally I was thinking, is he just going to be small Bowser throughout the entire movie?
No,
I kind of want the big one back. And then literally as soon as I thought of that, it happened, and I was like, all right, we got enough of the two, so I'm good on that balance right there.
Yeah. I think Bowser Jr. even just with his paintbrush and like when he pulls his mask up and it turns purple, like even that was so cool. I really like that.
I love the paintbrush. So cool.
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna get more Koopa Kids? Because I love the Koopa Kids.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for them to introduce the other Koopa Kids.
I will say though, I could tell Illumination is capable of better humor because did you guys see both of the credit sequences?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So the first one where you see Bowser and Bowser Jr. in the jail cell with like that floating, I don't even know what to call it, from like the first film.
Luma.
Yeah, Luma. That whole scene, that was the most I laughed in the entire movie.
Yeah, the movie's already over at that point.
Like that kind of humor was like, it's so like elevated, it's so for adults. Like it's just like that entire thing. I'm like, oh my God, you're capable of so much better. Like this is the kind of humor that you could absolutely throw in this movie. Like it had our audience dying. I'm like, that was the most I heard the audience laugh the entire movie.
That character was a fan favorite from the first movie.
Oh, so funny.
We only talked about death.
So freaking funny, dude. I could watch a whole movie on that character. It'd be a dark freaking movie.
Most nihilistic animated.
Dude, I would love it. It would basically, like, if Martin McDonagh made an animated movie, it would have that character.
Yeah. First it's flesh, then it's bones, then it's dust. And I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, I was like,
I think it's like, you'll be begging for the sweet whisper of death. I was like, Jesus Christ.
And then he just laughs. He's like,
so good. I don't know. MVP.
Post credit scene.
Speaking of post credit scenes, there was a second credit scene that set up a very big character that I had no idea who she was.
Oh, you don't know who that is? Oh, wow.
Okay. Look, you have to realize I played some Mario games. I didn't play all of them, and there was a bunch of characters that I didn't know who the fuck they were. Okay. So like, I was like, when this princess showed up, I'm like, I feel like I've seen this character before, but I was like, I don't know. There's a Google search in my phone saying Mario Princess brown hair.
Oh my God.
Wow. So it was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not this gigantic, Mario fan. Like, I've played some of the games, but like, I don't know all these characters like the back of my hand.
To be fair, she was introduced in I think it was a later game.
So there you go. That tracks for me.
I looked it up. So yeah. And then I think she's just in the side ones, like Mario Tennis and like
Mario Party. She's in the
So my question for you guys with that credit scene though, obviously she's probably going to be in the next movie, and I know I think her and Luigi become a thing from what I understand. But like, where do you think the story is going to go for the next movie? Like, what game do you think they're going to try to tackle next? Because it doesn't seem like they're really setting one up, at least in my mind right now.
So, well, I'm still waiting for Wario and Waluigi. Like,
I know. I was shocked
I
they didn't
thought
show
that was
up.
the logical next step to introduce like villains, like actual villains to Mario and Luigi, but I don't know where they're going to go in terms of adapting a specific game.
I hope that they bring them in for the next one. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
And honestly, I'm hoping they bring in Wario before Danny DeVito gets too old, because I know he's the popular fan.
He would be so good. He'd be so good.
Like honestly, like why are we even hiding it, guys? Charlie Day, get freaking Danny DeVito on the phone and get Glenn Howerton to be freaking Waluigi. And I think that's
my god,
all those Always Sunny children fans.
Glenn Howerton as well. I'm trying to picture that in my mind. I don't know.
I think someone fancasted Pedro Pascal as Waluigi. That would be kind of funny.
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
I could totally see that as well. Now here's the thing: who would be playing Daisy?
Do they have anyone to voice her yet?
No,
probably not
she
yet.
doesn't speak, so yeah, they probably just teased it before they could find a voice actor.
Yeah, it's the closest we're gonna get to like a Hispanic princess.
Yeah. So you mean Jenna Ortega?
So it's Jenna Ortega?
No.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Nancy Rodriguez confirms Jenna Ortega is Mario.
Put it out there in the universe.
Yeah.
Don't want it.
But
done enough already.
But here's the thing that I find very interesting about this review so far is that we've gone almost 56 minutes into this, and Khan has not once brought up Anya Taylor-Joy.
It's called restraint, Andre.
Yeah,
look it up.
Exactly.
I can't
I thought it was so cute though that Mario gives her little parasol. I was like,
yeah.
She got the one really cool standout action scene in the casino where like the gravity changes on the walls. That was really so she got like a shining moment at least. But
dude, Mario's getting friend zoned hard, but he's doing it to himself.
Yeah.
Oh, like, that was the part I was dying at when they finally reunite, and he's like,
the handshake. I was like,
she's like, a handshake.
He's like,
he's like, that'd be cool.
And then it cuts to Mario. Then it cuts to Luigi and Yoshi. And just
Yoshi.
like Yoshi has barely known this, and he's just like,
he's already invested.
You are already messing up.
That was hilarious. That was the one time I like laughed out loud.
Yeah, Peach got more to do than Rosalina, even though I feel like Rosalina's a bigger part of the Galaxy game specifically. So it was a little weird. But I mean, I guess you already had Peach carried over from the first film, so you focused on her more. But still.
Yeah, but they could have done more with Rosalina as well too, apart from just making her just the living human battery.
I mean, she's literally the damsel in distress, and her powers being sucked out at the end, and it's like that's all you gave Brie Larson to do.
She's rogue.
She's right. She's
rogue.
A little bit. Yeah. I was a little surprised though that there was no Donkey Kong here.
Because I think they're making a Donkey Kong spinoff. I feel like he's going to get his own movie, and so they're saving.
So, doesn't mean they couldn't set it up or have him in the movie.
Yeah.
They're saving it for the meaty stuff.
The meaty stuff.
DK.
Princess Peach. She, going back to that, is like she kind of mentions at the beginning, like, "Oh, I don't know where I come from," and then it's like they don't delve into that at all until like the very end. And I feel like that was the key to the movie, is exploring that storyline as opposed to everything else.
It's weird because in the games they're not officially sisters. It's like it's always hinted at that there's a relationship between them, but this movie just flat out says, "Oh yeah, they are sisters," and it's just to get over it.
And that's sort of like the not the spontaneity, but sort of the vagueness that I do appreciate about the games as well too, is that like everything is just made for you to get from one point in the game to another, and the story is very minimal, but that's where a movie should fill in the gaps, if that makes sense. And like I said before, I think they focused in on some of the wrong things from Galaxy. I mean, it's weird because people go, "Oh, it should have been Mario Odyssey," but the thing is that the first Super Mario movie was technically Odyssey, for lack of a better word, because it does end with the marriage of Bowser and Peach, and that is taken straight from Odyssey. So it's like you kind of
they're not only pulling from one game; they're just trying to shove as much as from a lot of different games. I feel like that's kind of where they
maybe they will go the Mario Party route then for the next movie, because you have Princess Daisy, and that is a big way for them to start pulling in more characters as well.
You know, now that you say it,
board playing now
that you say it, now I can picture it, the Mario Party movie. Like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it's like a Hunger Games style.
There's like endless games that they can draw from, so they'll be doing this for a while. But if we were to give this movie out of 5 pints, what are we feeling? Let's narrow it down.
I don't want to go first.
Not me. All right, I guess I'll go first since everyone's playing a game of chicken here. All right, so I would say overall, I would give this 3 out of 5 pints, because I think I had fun with the movie. I think I enjoyed it in some ways more than the first film. I think the animation style, the action sequences, I think I had more fun with this movie than I did with the first film. And I think it shows more potential for Illumination to try new things and to be more creative and add more style to their projects. And I just feel like they just need to work on the writing and the character development just in general, because I feel like a lot of their movies are nice to look at, but they feel a little bit hollow and a little bit lazy sometimes in terms of the writing and the characters. And I know they're capable of more, and I just want them to do more. But I feel like, kids, I think, are still going to enjoy this movie. It's still going to make a ton of money. And like I said, I still had a good time with it. I just think it is very flawed. And I just feel like for the next one, some things definitely need to be fine-tuned. So overall, I would say it's fun. It's a mixed bag. But overall, I think it's a little bit better than the first film. So there you go. 3 out of 5 pints.
There you go. All right. I will say I think the first film is generically good, but that doesn't mean it's bad. But for me, I felt like Illumination learned the wrong lessons from the first movie. And while they delivered certain big highs in terms of the animation, in terms of character moments here and there, and just flat out just kind of being a love letter to Nintendo and the works and all those characters all together, I feel like they were missing the soul and the purpose more in this movie than they did in the last one. So honestly, you can throw all these cameos in, but if you don't have a story that links them all together in a very satisfying way, in the way that the Sonic movies do, I think it's a cotton candy movie at best. It's sweet while it's there, but then 5 minutes later, you kind of forget about it. So honestly, for me, it is a 2 pints out of 5.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow.
Damn, someone's having a rough Saturday.
First Backrooms, now this?
Yeah, let's talk about
It's getting dark in here. All right, 2 out of 5. How about, who wants to go next? Nancy, are you ready, or you still need a minute? Okay.
Yeah, next. Overall, I did enjoy this movie. The animation is very pretty in it. I love the new characters. I did enjoy the first one better, though. Again, for me, the first one, maybe it was just kind of a nostalgia kick of seeing all the new characters on screen. But I did think that it had more humor and more fun in it. So I'm going to go 2.5 for this one.
2.5. All right. Con?
I mentioned up top, like, they fixed some issues. There's way fewer needle drops to my delight. They didn't use Take On Me or Holding Out for a Hero, thank goodness. So there's that. They didn't split up Mario and Luigi like they did in the first movie. So, like, there were obviously things that improved in my mind over the first movie. But then there's also wasting Rosalina, shoving too many characters and references into the movie. So overall, I'm at a 3 pints out of 5. But obviously, it should be much higher as a huge Mario fan. It's just left wanting more.
And there you have it, folks. So it's a bit of a mixed bag here on the Film on Tap crew for Super Mario Galaxy movie. But let us know what you thought of the movie down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? Let us know in the comments. Also, let us know what you thought of the trailers for Backrooms, Supergirl, and what was the other one we talked about? Forgotten Island. Wow.
Ironic.
Oh,
it's starting. Tom, you're in the movie.
I didn't even plan that. I didn't even plan that. Wow. Couldn't be more perfect. Anyway, that's hilarious. Jesus. Wow. All right. Yeah. So let us know what you thought about those trailers down below. We're definitely curious to hear your thoughts. But before we head on out, where can the fine people find you guys on the interwebs? Let's start with you, Con.
You can find me on Twitter at the King Khan and on Letterboxd, posting really short reviews. And then I host 2 podcasts on the Notorious by Chance YouTube channel, the Left Side Strong Side, where we talk about football, and then the Dark Horse, where we talk about awards. And we're actually going to do an episode where we predict really early what's going to be nominated next year. So that'll be fun. Look out for that.
All right. How about you, Nancy?
You can find me at PL_Bandaid on Twitter and Instagram. Of course, here in the comments. Every once in a while over on Cinemojis. And you can also find me on Letterboxd. I don't write reviews, but I do rate the movies. I always forget what it is. NER86PL is my handle there. Go find me over there.
There you go. How about you, Andres?
You can find me as Galaghost on Twitter and Instagram, and you can also find me on Letterboxd as well too, where I've started doing slightly shorter reviews now because life is so short. But I constantly do all the ratings. I do fun little lists here and there. You can also find me on Cinemojis editing a episode where we have a certain member of our crew is popping up there. So get excited about that, guys. And yeah. Yeah, and you can also find me on Higher Voltages on youtube.com, and also you can find me as Galaghost on youtube.com, and also here as well too. So boom.
Alrighty. And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Chattelbash. You can find me on TikTok at Chattelbash Reviews. You can find me on YouTube at Tom Chattelbash, and you can find me on Letterboxd at T Chattelbash. So you can find me in all those fun places. But thank you guys for tuning into a brand new episode of the show. Whether you watched it or listened to it, we appreciate it greatly. And we hope you tune in for the next episode of Film on Tap, where we've got the tap that never runs out. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Woohoo!
Here we go. Whoa.
Whoa. What was that? You turned
Did you burp, or was that on
vodka.
purpose?
Honestly, I made a noise and it ended up sounding way cooler than I thought it was going to.
You're like,
I was just trying to be silly. I was like, "Oh my god, did that have like reverb? Holy shit!"
yeah, you sound like Bowser.
I think I just tapped into like a hidden skill, guys. I think I got some new XP.
There's a blooper.